Okay, so now you know how to capture your data, and it's time to start using data or your software to analyze the payments that you've captured. Now, the very first question that comes up is how many payments or how much data is needed for the software to actually work? Well, it depends on the feature you will be trying to use. Uh, some features will require 10 payments, and then other features will require a lot more. The question is exactly how much or when or how successful will it be from the data. Now, first off, let's open a slot machine here for you to look at. We'll open this slot machine for now. You will note this slot machine has got 1,424 payments on record. Now remember, these are payments just above a certain amount as per captured, as per the casino on the floor, the computer on the casino floor. The data from this is from 2007 up till now, at the end of April 2015. That will give you a time span of 8 years, almost 8 years. Now, having 1,400 payments in 1 year, let's say we had all these payments, all 1,424 in 1 year. So in 2015 we had all these payments, opposed to all these payments over the time span of 8 years. Which is better? Well, your time span is a lot more important than the volume of payments within an area or within a time span. So 1,000 payments in a year is not as effective as 1,000 payments in 4 years. The ultimate data collection time, or when the software starts working really well in terms of success, is when you've got at least 4 years worth of data. So you've got to keep on capturing data and stay up to date with data. Now, why is it more important to have a longer time span of data than a lot of data in a short time span? Well, the problem we do have is we're not there at the casino 24 hours a day. So we can't check how much or how often the slot machine is played, because most slot machines aren't played 24/7. So now what happens is that there is times where the slot machine is idle, and although the software in the background is still running and it's still calculating and it's still working, it does not take in money. So percentage hold does not increase or decrease for money received or money paid out. So longer time spans mean that the computer can take into account or average out the fluctuations, let's say, of the payments. So basically, if it pays a lot in a short time, there's maybe less time idle, but the differences between the averages from when it's idle and when it's being played is quite high, where in longer time spans the averages comes into play, and it works a lot more on the averages, and it compensates. It's easier to pick up the compensation then for the idle times. So now you've got your data, and then you've got all these payments, and then the first thing you will note is you've got your calendar sort of from the 1st to the 31st of the month here. You will also have your months, and then your hour stats, and then your weekday stats. Now this is a quick rundown for you, just to quickly look at as soon as you open your data, exactly. All right, without doing any calculations, I can see, all right, this slot machine is very poor in May. We can also see the worst day of the month is the 31st, which in a way we can understand, but you will note if you compare that to some of the other, so the percentages is up to double or triple sometimes in some slot machines case in percentages. And then the same with the hour stats. You can immediately see, without doing anything, is I can increase my odds by playing this slot machine at 2000 hours in the day instead of 8 o'clock in the morning, for argument's sake. Now, we've got to remember though that although this percentage is low, 1% difference between 5% and 6% is a couple of £1,000 worth of playing for you. So the higher you can get your percentages, or the better percentage you do play, the more you increase your odds. And then the same with the day of the week. So if you were to take the slot machine and you put it to play, you stick on the best day of the week and you stick to the best hour and maybe the best, and you try and use combinations of these without going into further or deep analysis of it. You've already eliminated the worst playing times. Now there's a lot of arguments of why the times or sometimes or some hours is weaker than others, and the main argument is that the casino is not as busy during the mornings as it is in the evenings. But if you were to compare, for argument's sake, the 100 hours and 22 and 23, those are normally your peak hours, your 20 through, yet your 22 is 2% lower than your 21 or your 20, which immediately indicates why would you rather play 2200 hours opposed to 2100 hours. So there is arguments against it, but for the purpose what you're doing now and the basics of this, you will always try and go for the highest possible hours. That is the basic nutshell of the data and the beginning of the basic introduction. See you in your next video.